So I'm going to take a photograph and I'm going to explain to you why I would get frustrated as a new photographer. Because firstly, I've already done something on this camera which you wouldn't have probably done. So I adjusted the shutter speed, I adjusted the aperture, and I adjusted the ISO. I just did that without thinking about it. I shoot in full manual mode, which means I can adjust all of those settings. If you wanted to, you could change it onto the green little box, which is a full auto, so it automatically decides what's best. So that's like another way of taking photographs. But let's take something. What can I take a photograph of? We'll do our little we'll do our Mad Eye Moody. Let me bring you back over there. Okay, so I took a photograph of one of my little characters. We're gonna go play. I'm gonna show you the photograph. I'm gonna zoom you in. So for our podcast listeners, apologies. All I've done is I've got a little Bobby head toy, Mad Eye Moody. I've put him on the little shelf and I've taken a photograph of him. So firstly, you can see the photograph. I'll explain it to you, and let me show you here. So here are two buttons, zoom in and zoom out. So for example, if I was a new photographer, so how sharp is that? It's not too bad, but I was at a 1.6 aperture, so maybe the camera decided to make it a 1.6 aperture, which is the number up here. I have a 1.4 lens, and that's not too shabby. He's done a decent job. But how could I make that better? Well, I would go, firstly, I'm too far away. And I will also, so if you think about it in sizes, the little character is like one section of the screen, and I can probably fit him in the screen about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 times across and about 5 times from horizontal. So that same character could potentially be there quite a lot. So let's see, how can we make that better? So my frustration right now is that he's too far away. What am I showing in this picture? I'm showing a camera. You can see boxes in the background. It doesn't really make sense. So now we're going to refine that and take another photograph and make it so our main interest is a bit more noticeable and we can see what we're taking a photograph of. There's a minimum focusing distance. What that means is there's a certain amount of distance I have to be away from the character for the camera to take a good photograph. So I'm going to explain the photos to you. Let's go play. Okay, so that's one option there. So right now with this lens, I can't get any closer without losing my focus. Oh, 10 pictures now. Let's go minus. There's another one. I'm zooming in. I would like it to be more like that. So I'm actually zooming him in to fill the page and then maybe have something interesting there. But overall, he is sharp. So it did a decent job. But look, it changed the aperture to 2.5 now in auto mode. So what would I do? Well, let me show you if I was shooting manual. That's probably a bit better. Okay, yeah. So I'll explain this to you. But that photograph might look okay. However, when you zoom in, see how blurry that is. So that's me mimicking a blurry photograph to show you how you have to actually zoom into it to see it blurry. So look how blurry that is compared to that's sharp. That's blurry. See how the edges are blurry. And that would be because your shutter speed is too slow. So any movement basically makes the photograph blurry. A lot of the times you might have a certain idea that you want the photograph to look like. And you're like, oh, I want it to be, I don't know, a wide shot. I want to get, say for example, it's a car photography. You want a corner shot of the car, but you want the sky and you want the scenery in there. You've got the right lens. You take lots of photos. But then you discover that actually, you know what, the sky's too bright and the ground is dark, and it's like you're trying to find a nice option in between to get a nice, well-composed photo. Firstly, it depends on the time of day you're taking the photograph. That's going to be like a massive thing. If you're doing it in a cloudy day, you should be all right. But you can get filters that have a half polarizing kind of thing where you can spin it so it makes the sky even out. So there's little things that you can look at doing to help you with that. But the main frustrations are going to be blurry photographs, dark photographs. Let me know if you have certain things that you regularly find if you're new to photography and you're taking photographs, because it's been a long time since I've first taken photographs, and I'm sure there must have been loads of things I was worried about. I'm trying to think of them. I remember when I used to take photographs and I was like, you know what, to like new photographers, and I was like, oh, the camera's rubbish. But then I learned quickly, this is the same camera. Well, this is the second camera I had, and I still use it now, and I've used this for professional shoots with the professional lens, and I've had images printed in magazines and published with this camera. This is from 2008. So I can definitely tell you, you don't need a fancy camera.